Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. If you have a 2022 Toyota 4Runner and you're looking to carry a little bit of extra stuff with you because you've got the cargo area filled up, or there's just a few heavier, bulkier items that you don't want to keep inside, then this Flint Goods hitch-mounted cargo carrier could be a good fit for you. Let's check it out. Hitch-mounted cargo carriers are a great way to just carry extra gear with you when you're going on trips or picking up things from like the hardware store where you've got bags of mulch, concrete, things that tend to rip and make a mess. You can keep that mess out of your vehicle and keep it out here because this basket's going to be a lot easier to hose off when you're done with it. And even if you're just looking to carry a few extra things, yes, the 4Runner is a big vehicle, but if you've got it filled up with passengers and all their luggage, you might not have room for that extra suitcase or a big cooler that you're bringing on your camping trip. This option from Flint Goods is going to be their compact cargo carrier, so it is quite a bit smaller than most other options we carry. But if you just need that extra thing or two, then this can be just enough to get the job done and not take up any more space than is necessary. And with this being a more compact option, you want to check your usable space so you can see what you can actually fit. Front to back, it's going to be about 17.5 inches, a little bit over that for usable space between the bars. And from side to side, we're not sacrificing as much space there, sitting a little bit over 51.5 inches. So if you've got a larger cooler or a couple suitcases that you're wondering if they'll fit, lay them out and just measure out how much space they're taking up and you can see if you can fit it in here. Keep in mind you could always stack up your cargo a little bit, although I'd advise keeping it in a single layer, and if you do, just make sure it's strapped down really securely because with a smaller footprint like this, you don't want something toppling out. Now your construction here is going to be steel all throughout with a black powder coat finish on top. That steel is going to keep things nice and strong, giving us a 500-pound weight capacity. So just keep that in mind as you're loading it up with gear. Luckily, with its smaller size, you'll probably be okay as long as you're not overfilling it. And these bars keep a pretty open design at the bottom, so if you do have something messier that's going to, say, like be a leaky cooler or maybe a leaky generator, you're not going to have anything pool up. It's going to be easy for that to just fall through these gaps. And those bars are going to give you plenty of tie-off points to wrap a strap around or maybe even hook a ratchet strap directly to. I just watch out for that if you are hooking directly to the bars because it's a spot where that powder coat can easily wear away over time, and once that powder coat's gone, the steel underneath doesn't have protection against rust and corrosion. Now, a few measurements on our 4Runner to keep in mind are going to be the distance that it adds to the back, which with this being a compact carrier, it's only going to add about 25.5 inches. That's going to be really helpful when you are driving around, say on like a vacation and pulling into parking spots. You don't have to worry about that much added length in the 4Runner. And between it and the bumper, you've got 6 inches of space here. So plenty of room for you to reach your hands in and set the anti-rattle pin up whenever you are getting this in the hitch for the first time. When you're stacking your cargo up, you want to watch out for the height because at a certain point, we will start to block our back hatch from opening. And on the 4Runner, that's going to be right around the 16-inch mark, realistically probably a little bit below it. And I'd advise staying below 16 inches anyway, because any higher than that, and we're going to start blocking our backup camera and our license plate. And depending on where you're driving through, having that license plate obstructed can be breaking the law. Just always check your local laws and regulations. But for me, I like to play it safe, and if I can keep it visible, that's just the best bet. A few other things to be mindful of on the 4Runner are going to be your exhaust and your back bumper proximity sensors. Now, the exhaust does sit right on the edge of where this carrier goes, and it is angled down, but I'd still advise keeping heat-sensitive items like coolers off to the driver's side so that you're not risking anything melting or getting affected by that exhaust. And while this 4Runner we have today isn't equipped with it, if yours has the parking sensors or the proximity sensors on that back bumper, with this carrier sitting so close, it probably will be setting them off. And that's probably going to be true for really any carrier or accessory you put in the hitch. So just be mindful of it as you're backing up. Down at the hitch, it's going to be fitting inside of our 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube. And the included anti-rattle bolt is going to do a pretty good job at keeping that shake and play out of the hitch. It tightens up by using this 3/4-inch flange nut on the other side, so you will need a socket or a wrench to tighten that up. And that's going to keep things from shaking around as you drive down the road. But overall, this is going to be a pretty solid cargo carrier if you don't need a ton of capacity and you don't want it to take up a ton of room whenever it's not in use. Because of the small size, it's also going to be extremely lightweight and easy to manage, so you can hang it up on a wall in your garage and easily take it from there to the hitch and set it up in no time. If you are looking for a similar ease of use with the lightweight, but you need more capacity, I'd recommend any of Flint Hill Goods aluminum cargo carriers. You're going to get the same weight benefits and the same weight capacity out of all those carriers, but they make some that are quite a bit bigger. The only thing is that it's going to take up more space on the back of your vehicle and in your garage when it's not in use. So if you don't need all that capacity, I always err on the side of going with the smaller carrier because it's just going to be easier to work with. But today, this is just our look at the compact cargo carrier from Flint Hill Goods on the back of our 2022 Toyota 4Runner. My name's Aiden, and thank you for watching.